best. With the SiriusXM Platinum VIP plan, you can unlock the ultimate listening experience in up to 2 cars and stream anywhere with 2 app logins. Enjoy our greatest content, opportunities for live VIP experiences, and prioritize customer care. Plus, get access to over 5,000 audio and video concert recordings through nugs.net. Call 844-711-8800 and become a VIP. Offer details apply. Not available in Canada. You know SiriusXM has over 100 extra channels on the SiriusXM app filled with ad-free music made for everything you do. Mashup channels, workout channels, channels for parties, or just chilling out and more. Expertly curated for any mood, occasion, or activity. Extra channels let you discover new music and enjoy even more variety from every decade and music style you love. Plus, you can watch some of your favorite SiriusXM shows with SiriusXM Video. And you can do it all along with listening in your car as part of our music and entertainment plan. Right now, we're offering SiriusXM subscription plans for as low as $6 a month, plus fees and taxes. Call 844-711-8800 to find out more about these amazing offers.
Holly, Channel 79, or revisit Christmas past with the nostalgic sound of holiday traditions on Channel 71. Listen now through Christmas Day and enjoy dozens of unique holiday channels anytime you want in the SiriusXM app.
Get the SiriusXM app and listen on your phone when you get out of the car. Anywhere you take your phone, you can take Howard Stern, NFL Radio, and commercial-free music channels from nearly every genre. Channels vary by subscription plan. You never have to miss your favorite SiriusXM programs or commercial-free music. Find the SiriusXM app in the App Store or call 844-711-8800 or visit SiriusXM.com/app to find out more. Country music's biggest night takes over SiriusXM.
The highway is CMA Awards Radio.
Your all-access pass backstage at rehearsals.
All the way through the red carpet and 57th CMA Awards simulcast.
Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Featuring performances by Chris Stapleton,
Lainey Wilson,
and Jelly Roll.
CMA Awards Radio. Exclusively on the highway, Channel 56.
And the SiriusXM app.
Don't waste valuable time managing playlists, downloading, or sifting through commercials when you could be zoning out, rocking out, or just kicking back to the music you love. Visit SiriusXM.com/go to quickly sign up online and activate your radio. SiriusXM offers commercial-free music from nearly every genre at the touch of a button. Select your favorite channels, set your presets, and let SiriusXM's music experts handle the rest. Subscribe now and activate your radio. Visit SiriusXM.com/go to sign up online quickly or call 844-711-8800 now.
There you go now.
I think everything.
Oh, I see. There you go now.
I think everything.
Oh, I see.
The music she's inspired by.
The Queen, y'all. Aretha Franklin. Possibly my biggest influence vocally.
And her own award-winning catalog.
What doesn't kill you makes you strong. That's what you're going to get here. So you're welcome in advance. My SiriusXM channel.
The Kelly Clarkson Connection, Channel 12, and on the SiriusXM app. Free with all trials and popular plans.
Whether it's big on the block, get to the gritty and tear the city, the home of the business, or blowing up online. Hip Hop Nation connects you to the biggest hits in the game. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you just turn up and vibe. Hip Hop Nation, commercial-free hip-hop hits. Channel 44 and the SiriusXM app. To hear these channels, activate your radio by calling 844-711-8800 or visiting SiriusXM.com/go.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you need to be in the zone, the home buying zone. You need a game plan to win in this great real estate market. The Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage has all your bases covered. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing your dream home, refinancing, consolidating debt, or even considering a reverse mortgage, contact the Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage today. They have the lowest closing costs and they'll close your loan on time, guaranteed, or they'll pay your first mortgage payment. And they even have a 3.5% purchase down payment grant that can get you into a home with little money out of your pocket. It doesn't get more clutch than than that, folks. Score big on the biggest purchase of your life. Call Equity Zone Mortgage today at 1-800-772-8624. That's 1-800-772-8624. Or apply online at equityzonemortgage.com and tell them Big C sent you as heard on the Big C Sports Podcast. License number 0184868.
Rondo Deportes, Bonjour, Vini Vici, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. This is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me and people with 29 podcast applications. Give that some praise. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Shut up! You know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There you go. Another party pooper. Some people don't like being part of the neighborhood watch when it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but you can be part of Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 29 podcast applications all over the universe. You can follow Big C Sports on Google, Alexa, Spotify, Speaker Podcast, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Podcast, Good Pods Podcast, Amazon Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Music Podcast, Podcast Addict. You can follow Big C Sports on Podchaser. I also love Gio Zabadan out of London, England, as well as India and Africa. Podtail, YouTube, Hubhopper, Stitcher Podcast, Radio Line, Repod Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, Podcast Wise, Podbay, Podcast Policy, Verbal Podcast, Podcast Republic, and there's another one that I used to be afraid of, but I'm not anymore. It's called AllFees.ai. Give that some praise. The robots are taking over. Wait a minute, Curry. That's not working. Yeah, that's true. Unless you own the robot, like Will Rogers, if that makes sense to you. I'm also streaming on 4 TV platforms all over the universe. Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. I'm telling you, there's something that I love doing the Big C Sports Podcast, and I think most people should. I love paying homage to our military veterans, but there's times they go through trouble. You know anybody going through pain or trouble? What did Frankie Beverly say? Joy, pain, sunshine, and rain. Let me say it the way he said it. He said, joy and pain are like sunshine and rain. Sing it one more time. Joy, come on, and pain is like sunshine and rain. You want the real Frankie Beverly? Yeah, my alter ego always wants the real thing. You can call the real thing 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give them some praise because we all need somebody to lean on. And it's good when you're leaning on somebody if somebody's leaning back. So now, back my popular demand. It's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back. We want the real Teddy Pendergrass. I'm trying to be the real Teddy Pendergrass, but I can only do so much if that makes sense to you. But I do want to thank Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, where God said, reparations now, reparations forever. And then he said, let there be light. Give me light and praise if that makes sense to you. I really do love bringing light to the world. I want to tell you what I do with the Big C Sports Podcast. I always produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast all the shows. I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We could all use more laughter in our lives. I know I could use more laughter. And then I'm telling you, the commercials are done. My show, unlike most one-hour shows where they do maybe 3 commercial spots and they have 2 or 3 commercials, mine all go up front like the Energizer Bunny. I keep going and going and going and going. And then I do the show, if that makes sense to you. And then I do all the stats providing. Number 7, I do all the storytelling. Number 8, I do all the play-by-play. I got up to the line of scrimmage, 4 wideouts, 5-man fronts. And then the 49ers, they need to score. It is actually 4th down and goal from the 8-yard line. And then you have Purdy back to pass, rolling to his right, throw to the corner of the end zone. It is caught. And Brandon Ayuk, touchdown, San Francisco. They got to beat Jacksonville. They got to beat Jacksonville. They got to beat Jacksonville this weekend, if that makes sense to you. And then the show's uploaded to 29 podcast platforms all over the universe and streaming up 4 TV platforms out of New York City. And I'm in Denver Hills, California, if that makes sense to you. And then number 10, I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports back in the day with the crew. You got to give that some praise. I never missed a show. There's some of the rough days in my life. Never missed a show with Big C Sports Podcast. And I really do appreciate that. And that's pretty hard to do when you're one beautiful, intelligent black man. I don't have a crew of 50 people the way they do on Fox Sports, NFL, or CBS, NFL, and ABC, Monday Night Football, ESPN, whatever it is. I do mine on my own, and that's okay. And I love paying homage. You know, sometimes I go, the show goes by so fast. I have a lot of things coming up with military veterans and in sports that Big C Sports is a part of, like the Invictus Games. That was started by I think it's Prince Harry started that. At the same time that like the world is just opening up. I've been doing this practice called 369, and it was brought to me by a correspondent, a OO, National Payout Committee of the National Black Wall Street Project. It's about working on goals, and if you go nationalblackwallstreetproject.com, and it's the CEO is the inimitable Reverend Tony Pierce, President and CEO. Our goal is to create millionaires and to give that some praise. Because there's chapters all over the United States, and we're getting all the chapters to communicate. Really do appreciate all the information that's coming with Big C Sports Project. I'm telling you, I'm just I feel so anointed, and I got a lot of me. I want to get it out, but sometimes I don't have enough time to get it all out. But I do want to say, I want to pay homage before I start thanking everybody else. I want to do what I've been asking every black American to do, and white American too. It's to pay homage to where we came from. On my beautiful mother's side, my great-grandmother called her Mamo. Beautiful, loving, kind woman, always making sure lots of love in the family and lots of food in the belly. And then my beautiful great-grandfather called him Pop, former military man and former Negro League baseball player, known around his church buddies as making the best moonshine in the history of the universe. He can fix anything, planes, trains, automobiles. The real MacGyver, if that makes sense to you. And he was really known for saying, "Boys, get out of that barn now." And he also taught us, he said, measure twice and hammer once. We like how he knows we measuring twice. And by the time we finished the fence was like 10 feet too short. I said, "Boys, measure twice and hammer once." Every contractor understands that. It makes so much sense when the fence is not long enough. I want to thank my beautiful grandmother, Muddia, beautiful, loving, kind woman. Oh, she was a seer. She could oftentimes look at a person and tell you a lot about their past, present, and their future. She still helps me to this day. Really do appreciate Muddia, beautiful, intelligent woman. And then my beautiful grandfather, Hezekiah, another wonderful man. A seer could oftentimes look at a person and tell you a lot about their past, their present, and their future. And then I can always depend on my mama, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. Started a Head Start program, a food program, and then also coached an all-boys Little League baseball team to the championship of the universe. Give mama some praise. Come on, she started a Head Start program, a food program, and then coached an all-boys Little League baseball team to the championship of the universe in an all-man's league. And I'm telling you, as a beautiful, intelligent black woman, that's coming right out of Jim Crow. And you know, sometimes even our good white Christians, they would say, "I'll not tolerate my kids listening to one of them." And she told them quit. And we went on to play for the championship. And some of those same people came back and they said, I was wondering if my boy could play back for the team." She said, "No." She said, "I don't want quitters. I want winners. I want people who want to win." If that makes sense to you, I love giving my mama praise. Best person that ever met in my life. In fact, at the church, everybody wanted Mrs. Curry's cooking. And at the restaurant, everybody wanted Mrs. Curry's cooking. And at home, everybody wanted Mama's cooking. She'd say, "Son, how many plates have you had?" I said, "Mama, plates are baby crap to what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my reparations." You know, It's funny like the first 2 or 3 times. Now the 5th time you got to go to your room. Love my mama with all my heart, my body, and soul. Give my mama some praise, the best person I ever met in my life. On my father's side, my granddaddy called him Albert Curry. He was a pastor. He had 3 churches, 2 in Oakland, 1 in Central California. He also owned 2 gas stations in Oakland, 1 on Bancroft, the other on Foothill. But what I'm most proud of, he owned 40 acres of land. It was like the Emancipation Proclamation, where President Douglas was working with President Abraham Lincoln to craft the Emancipation Proclamation. Oh my goodness, where every single free black person was offered 40 acres and a mule for helping the Union win the Civil War. And you know what happened when President Lincoln was assassinated? President Andrew Johnson came along and he vetoed the bill. And he gave the land back to the Southern Confederates. He gave it back to the people who tried to overthrow the government. If that makes sense to you. They never gave that money or that land back. And I really appreciate my granddaddy, my beautiful grandmother, Alberta Curry. She worked side by side with my granddaddy with the 2 churches in Oakland and helping build a 3rd one in Central California and then running the 2 gas stations. I was 8 years old walking through a hallway in Oakland. It was about, I was heading down the hallway. I felt somebody touch me on my forehead. And she said, "What are you doing, young man? Going to get some more cookies?" I said, "What are you doing up, Grandma? It's 10 o'clock at night. You normally go to bed at 8:30. She said, "What are you doing, young man? Going to get some cookies?" I said, "Cookies are baby crap to what I'm doing, Grandma. I'm looking for my reparations." And she said, "There's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak." And now you can hear Big C Sports Podcast screaming all over the universe. And that's a praise. Oh my goodness. My beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, always making sure that airplanes can fly high so we could all stay safe at night. Really do appreciate my dad always saying develop your mind to its highest extent. In fact, in the Air Force, my dad's roommate was the late Al Freeman Jr., who played the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in one of my favorite movies, Malcolm X, that was written and produced by the great Spike Lee and acted by my favorite actor, the great Denzel Washington. And I keep telling Denzel and Spike Lee, when you gonna do a movie on reparations now? Reparations forever! Because that's how you really pay homage to Frederick Douglass and President Abraham Lincoln and all of our ancestry that were deprived of liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. They never got that chance. But they gave everything they had, and that's why we're here today. They didn't give up on us. And with all the millions of people that died through the Middle Passage from the African continent through the diaspora across the oceans, the Atlantic Ocean, going to North and South America, and into Europe, it's by the grace of God that we're still here. But a lot of people didn't make it. I know slavery existed all over the world, but that was manumitted slavery where you could work your way to freedom. The United States was so draconian. It was so draconian! You could not earn your freedom in the United States. Look at what's happening in Israel and Palestine right now. And they want to drop bombs because they want to name a group of people as evil. It can't be more evil than what we did in the United States! And then some people have the gall to say we don't deserve reparations. Going to war in a country that's not even ours! And the descendants of chattel slavery have still not received reparations. It was black soldiers that helped the Union win the Civil War. I mean, that to me is powerful. That's a movie right there, Spike Lee. You can give that some praise! Fighting anywhere, not on American soil, and refuse to pay reparations to descendants of chattel slavery. It's in Congress now, and it's time for change. You can give that some praise. Really do appreciate my dad. And then my beautiful grand. I told you, there's so much that I just love my dad with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Always saying to develop your mind to its highest extent. Then my beautiful brother Todd with that bombastic voice. Sound like thunder and lightning when Todd is speak. Always saying, go forward. A voracious reader. Really do appreciate Todd. And then my beautiful daughter Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. college graduate, 2 degrees with honors in 3.5 years from a major university. And there's so many things that I appreciate about Daisy. She actually said the very first interview for Big C Sports back at Salem Media. And it went on from there to become the first time in the history of the United States that NFL Monday Night Football started broadcasting live on the Wall Street Business Network. It had never happened before. I still get the letter from the station management. They called us the Dream Team. Daisy would also help me set up in college courses to come to the West Coast and do work with Big C Sports. You can be anything you want to be. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And there's a song I want you to sing. Just Google it when you can. It's called "Dance with My Father" by Luther Vandross. Google that song, "Dance with My Father" by Luther Vandross. If that makes sense to you, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Then my beautiful, handsome son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. College senior, very smart, erudite, a good man. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Malcolm helped me save trees. I used to always Google. Actually, I used to always look at the newspaper to find stats on players and teams for Big C Sports Podcast. One day, Malcolm said, "Dad, why don't you just Google it?" And a light bulb went off. I've been Googling ever since. Now I'm on 29 podcast platforms and streaming on 4 TV platforms. One day, Malcolm said, "Dad, do you want to see Big C Sports on TV?" I said, "Sure." He said, "Pick up the remote, aim it at the TV, and say, 'Play Big C Sports.' You'll see your show come up." That's before it was even on the air. Now it's on streaming on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. He spoke it into existence. And he was only a teenager. Imagine what happens when God listens. Because shortly after that, I'm on television now. And then, Malcolm, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. Google the song by Luther Vandross called "Dance with My Father." It's called "Dance with My Father." Great song. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, so you can be anything you want to be. And then Big C with that wealth, all that wealth of knowledge over the years, like my great granddaddy coming out of that barn, always saying, "You gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe." So let's get ready to rumble. I love to say welcome to the show and be nominated Big C Sports Podcast. I have no scripts. I have no 3-way teleprompters, no producer in my ear. I do my show with my higher self, that's God. And I always love giving God praise. My goodness, so many great things are happening to me. It's like a candy store. I keep saying that Big C Sports will become a billion-dollar company. I'm having more and more evidence of how it's going to happen now because I keep giving God praise and God keeps bringing things to stand on the horizon. There's a chance right now that Big C Sports becoming that household name. I've been saying it for about 8 years now. And now I'm having connections all over the world that are listening to Big C Sports Podcast and want to take my show to another form of syndication. You got to give that some praise. It's nothing but God doing it. Doesn't matter what people say, but I want to give some praise to what's near and dear to my heart. Yesterday I talked about NBA basketball players that joined the Billionaires Club, and that's from LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and soon to be Curry. Okay? Soon to be Curry. Because the conversations that I'm having now that are just so powerful, it's almost like the book of Romans chapter 4 or chapter oh my God, I can forget the chapter. I think it's 4:17. Speak things that be not as though they were. Beg your pardon if I'm wrong, but you can Google it. And I've been speaking on things that I want to be. And now I'm getting contacts from people in media that own media outlets that say, "We love what you're doing. You're different. We want to see if you're open to expanding your horizons." You know, about 2 years ago, I was saying, no, I'm good. But I wasn't seeing what I'm seeing now. And I just want to give God some praise for not giving up on me, if that makes sense to you. I want to thank the California Reparations Task Force, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I want to thank the California Reparations Task Force, the chair, Camila Moore. She's brilliant. I want to give her praise. I want to thank the Dr. Amos C. Brown, the vice chair. He's brilliant. I want to give him the praise. I want to thank the #1 senator in the United States of America. Gonna meet with him soon. Senator Stephen Buffett out of California. He's brilliant. He's also responsible for name, image, and likeness. Listen up, athletes. He's responsible for name, image, and likeness. That's why a lot of you athletes are getting paid. It's called NIL. He also crafted the ebony alert that helps find young black children when they go missing, a lot like the Amber Alert that helps black kids get found when they go missing. That's Senator Stephen Bradford. Appreciate him out of California. And then Council Member Monica Montgomery Stephanie. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. Assembly Member Reginald Jones Sawyer. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Michelle Grills. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Attorney Lisa Holder. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give some praise to Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at California, Berkeley. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. And I want to give praise to Attorney Donald K. Tamaki, part of the California Reparations Task Force. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. And as a Japanese American, his family also receives reparations when the Japanese internment camps exist in the United States. That's what you get on Big C Sports. You're not gonna hear that anyplace else. You're just not going to. But that's why God let Big C Sports prosper. That's why He let me rise and shine. I just feel so great. I want to rise and shine always, and be worthy of God's favor. That's what I want to do. But I also love giving praise and respect to people that acknowledge Big C Sports. I want to thank the Associated Press and CBS News. I want to thank the Associated Press and CBS News because they paid homage to Big C Sports about reparations. They called a sports guy about reparations. And this is for all the knuckleheads that say, man, you talk too much politics. And then the Associated Press says, we appreciate you because you're different. CBS News also carried the article. You can't get much bigger than the Associated Press and CBS News. It was March 29th, 2023. It was Janie Hart. She called me from the Associated Press. And she called me. I said, hello, how can I help you? She says, hi, this Charlton? I said, yes, it's Charlton. She said, hi, this is Janie Hart, the Associated Press. I said, how'd you get my number? She said, we have our ways. I said, okay, well, what made you call me? How can I help you? She said, I heard you speak at a Reparations Rally Task Force. There was about 500 people there. And how did she interview Charlton Curry? She said, you're not like the others, you're different. And she asked me my thoughts on reparations. And you know what I said? I said, measure twice and hammer once. No, that's not what I said. I said, reparations now, reparations forever. Because I believe that, and I know it's going to happen. And I just want to thank people that have the prescience to see that you can say things about politics when you're a sports show, and it's always valid because President Abraham Lincoln wanted to give it to us. And I want to get mine because I have my receipt. And that's why I want to wake up black men, because without black men and black women, then they can always say, well, we tried to give it to them, but they just wanted to play with balls. They kept saying, touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Old man Willie, he's going all the way. Light the beam, light the beam, light the beam. When they ask black Americans, what are your thoughts on reparations? And all they hear is shucking and jiving. And that's why I'm reaching out to our black brethren on television and quit saying, well, Big C, we wanna say it, Big C, but the Massa and the Ku Klux Klan and the Southern Confederates, they won't let us talk about reparations now, reparations forever. Well, who in the hell is your boss? If they're afraid to opine what President Abraham Lincoln opined, who are you working for? Who are you working for? If your boss is that intellectually vapid, they refuse to even let you opine what President Abraham Lincoln wanted to do for our great-great-grandparents, our great-great-granddaddies, our great-great-grandmothers, and our granddaddies, our great-granddaddies, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, and our mothers and fathers. Because a lot of us right now work in the media, we were born in or just out of Jim Crow. And now you're going to take Governor Wallace's side when he said, segregation now, segregation forever. And people say, oh, I don't believe in Governor Wallace. I would have told him to go blank himself. Oh, really? Because a lot of us, we're segregated when it comes to talking reparations. Oh, what do you mean, Curry? Because people say they're anti-Governor Wallace, but he told you before Laura Ingraham. He said, shut up! And dribble. And a lot of people do. You know, dialogue means when you go to your employer and say, employer, I have something that's important to me. If you don't have the balls to do it, ask a lawyer to do it. There are a lot of civil rights attorneys that are working in reparations. In fact, there's over 172 members of Congress and the Senate that are in support of Sheila Jackson Lee, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, with H.R. 40, which is reparations. They're trying to get reparations passed as we are breathing. They just have a hard time finding black Americans that are willing to talk about it in public. Oh, we talk about it behind closed doors. Just like racism, there's a lot of white Americans, they know they grew up in a racist household. They know they grew up hearing jokes about the N-word and all that stuff. But if you know where you come from, maybe you respect your root a little better. Because all life came from Africa. So if I'm an N-word, so are you. But there are people who talk like that in private. They know how dumb they are and how stupid they are. But they won't do that in public. They'll come out smiling your face in public, wanting to kiss your backside. Hey, athlete, can I get an autograph from my kid? Can I get a picture of you with my wife? Can you sign my shirt? Can you sign my shoes? And then you have men who are afraid. I'm talking about beautiful, intelligent black men and women. It's as if slavery still exists because some of you are so afraid to even have a conversation about reparations. And you got congressmen and women, most of them Caucasian. They're trying to give it to us. You know, the same way they gave our Jewish brethren. The Just Act. You can Google everything Big C Sports says. That's why CBS News wrote an article in Big C Sports. That's why the Associated Press wrote an article in Big C Sports. It was unsolicited! Do your homework. Google Survivors Today Act of 2017. The Justice for Uncompensated Survivors Today Act of 2017 is United States legislation that requires the State Department to report to Congress on steps that 47 countries in Europe they've already taken to compensate Holocaust survivors and their heirs for assets seized by Nazi Germany and post-war communist governments. That's not Big C Sports. That's the United States State Department and the United States Congress. That same Congress that's trying to give reparations to black Americans, descendants of chattel slavery. Based on the New Orleans Codes, black has no standing in court. It's descendants of chattel slavery. And we got so many beautiful, intelligent black men that just walk around like did somebody whip you or something? Did somebody tell you, shut up? Because we got millionaires and billionaires that are afraid. Well, what if they tell me they're going to take away my job? You got $1 billion! What are you afraid of? If you're afraid, hire a lawyer to represent you. It's a matter of law, executive order. It's not a matter of marches, not a matter of protesting. The same thing that happened with apartheid to end apartheid in South Africa. We need the same. It took executive order. The courts changed laws, not marching. You can march all you want to march. Civil Rights March, March on Washington. It was Lyndon Baines Johnson that signed Civil Rights Act and the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. He didn't sign it without political pressure. It wasn't marching across the Edmund Pettus Bridge that had him do it. It was lawmakers that made the president realize it's the right thing to do. Lincoln offered the 40 acres and a mule to black soldiers for helping win the Civil War. And how do we go from that as a beautiful, intelligent race of people? All life came from Africa. But how do we go from that to just focusing on touchdown, home run, three-point play? Oh, man, Willie, he's good all the way. Light the beam, light the beam, light the beam. And those Southern Confederates are laughing at us. Man, look, we stole all those Negroes' money, and instead of trying to get it back, they're talking about touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh, man, Willie. It's a shame. Kind of embarrassing. They say only a fool represents himself in court. Hire lawyers to at least support the senators and congressmen who want to pass reparations. Our Jewish brethren do it. Senator Marco Rubio out of Florida and Senator Rick Scott out of Florida. What I say is factual. You know what they've done this year in 2023? Everything I say, you can Google it because it's factual. They made sure that Congress, Congress, the group that makes laws in countries, Marco Rubio, Senator Rick Scott, you can Google what they did in 2023 because it's powerful. They reintroduced a bill to restore Holocaust survivors' rights. You know they didn't lose their job? Not one media outlet told them, shut up! That's a clue. I'm asking them to help champion reparations for descendants of child slavery too. I want to thank Georgetown, right in the heart of Washington, D.C. Right there with the Oval Office of the White House. They've already pledged over $1 billion in reparations to 272 families, descendants of child slavery. It's in the same city as President Joe Biden. And it takes, just like executive order through Abraham Lincoln, Joe Biden can sign reparations into law. The same way he gave money to the Ukrainians. They didn't go through marches. They weren't singing "We Shall Overcome." President Zelensky came over here and asked for the money. He gave it to him. Airplanes and more money too. The same Joe Biden that said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He's in office because of black men. Not because we say, touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. He's not in office because people love sports. He's in office because black Americans got up off their butts and they voted for him. And he knows that no reparations, no vote. You can march and stump all you want. We got to be treated the same way our Jewish brethren have been treated and our Ukrainian brethren. If not, you're not going to get reelected. And he knows that. That's why he said he's willing to have Congress study reparations, to sign it into law. But so many people are so quiet, he thinks, well, maybe I can get elected again without doing it, because these Negroes, they just want to go, touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. It's embarrassing. But there's enough black Americans that are waking up, and decent white people too. This is not about just black people. Most of the people in Congress and in the House are represented. They're white people. And there's over 170 people who've co-signed the bill for reparations. 170! And there's more that are willing to do it. They just can't find enough black folks. And that's a damn shame. Getting on TV talking about how big and strong somebody is. And then arguing about it? Well, Big C, we want to do what you're saying, but, Massa, he one of those Southern Confederates, and he won't let me do it. Well, put his name out there! Are you for reparations? Yes or no? You got over 170 members of the House and the Senate that are for you. I want to thank Double O, National Payout Committee of the National Black Wall Street Project, sent me an article on the United Nations, and they are pro-reparations, saying that strong leadership and political will are crucial to ensure reparatory justice for people of African descent. But all they say, man, all they want to do is just play sports. I want to thank T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network, proud sponsor of the Big C Sports. Get that some praise. I want to thank PNC Private Bank, proud sponsor of the Big C Sports. Get that some praise. Everybody has their own thoughts about things, and we just gotta, I believe in doing the best I can to get people to just be on the same side of the people in the Congress that want to make reparations happen the same way they did for white people during the Homestead Act of 1862 and 1863. It gave white Americans over 276 million acres of land, and even white Europeans. There's nothing to be afraid of. Black Americans are descendants of child slavery are due. We're next. You can give that some praise if that makes sense to you. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I want to get into some of what only people care about, but they're going to wake up. I'm telling you, when black men are no longer afraid, what did Malcolm X tell you? What did he tell you? When you're no longer afraid, then you'll start, if you're too afraid, just hire an attorney to support the congresswomen and congressmen and senators that want to pass reparations as you're breathing. As we're running up and down the sports fields making white people more money. They want to pass it. They're supporting Sheila Jackson Lee. You got Big C's vote. Get that some praise. I want to get into Big C's NBA power rankings because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. I'm hoping that the NBA, just the black men who are not afraid, the ones who are afraid, just keep playing with balls. Just shut up! In trouble. But the ones who are not afraid, I'm going to get my thoughts on Big C's NBA power rankings. And again, everybody has their own thoughts. It's my story, and I'm going to stick with it. NBA basketball right now is to me, I just got to tell you, I love sports. Sports is $1 billion industry. Boys and girls sports is the foundation of this $1 billion industry. But there are times when people are just so afraid to say what's really important. If the house is on fire, there are people just wanting to watch the game. You know, the house is burning. I heard a story, and I may tell it wrong, won't be the first time. There was a flood coming. And so some neighbors came by and said, hey, we have a boat, the flood's coming. Why don't you get on our boat and we can save you? And the person said, No, I'm just gonna wait on God. So they took off. The flood got higher. And then I think the fire department came. And they said, the flood's coming. Why don't you get on our boat? We're trying to rescue people. And the person said, no, I'm just gonna wait on the Lord. I'm gonna wait on the Lord. And then next there was a helicopter that came as the flood waters got higher. So the person gets on top of the house, and the fire department with the helicopter says, here, we're gonna put down the rescue ladder, grab the ladder, and we're gonna take you to safety. The flood is coming. The person said, no, I'm just gonna wait on the Lord. And he drowned. When he gets to heaven, he said, Lord, why didn't you save me? I prayed that you would save me. Why'd you let me drown? The Lord said, I sent you a boat. I sent you a fire department. I sent you a helicopter. And you refused to take the help. It's like reparations now. We've had the slavery already. President Abraham Lincoln, he ended slavery with the 13th Amendment. And then he issued the Emancipation Proclamation with the help of a black man, Frederick Douglass. But then number two, we went through 100 years of Jim Crow. We had no rights. And number three, Congress, as we are speaking right now, they're focused on signing reparations into law. And there are people saying, well, Lord, when is this going to happen? The National Black Wall Street Project is writing a letter to President Joe Biden and Representative Clyburn that got all the black people in the churches in the South to vote for President Biden. And that letter would be sent out before Christmas, stating why reparations should happen. You want to secure the black vote? Do what President Abraham Lincoln did. When he said, reparations now, reparations forever. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Number 10 in the NBA's, Big C's NBA Power Rankings. I got the LA Lakers. The Lakers won. I'm telling you, they've had 18 championships. And right now, they're not the same team as those championship teams. But the Lakers won the Monday and Wednesday round robin with the Magic and the Clippers last week. And both games were close. At the same time, the Lakers have been outscored by 39.2 points per 100 possessions. They got to get better. Right now, they're being bailed out by the officials, so that's my opinion. But they're still a good team. I got the number 10. Number 9 in Big C's NBA basketball power rankings. It's just my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. I got the New Orleans Pelicans. Those good boys got 2 wins without Brandon Ingram last week, including a win against Detroit without Zion Williamson. He's resting as well. But with both of them back in the lineup on Saturday, the Pelicans allowed the Hawks to score 123 points on just 95 possessions. But Atlanta, they shoot a lot of threes. So you got to play better defense against Atlanta because they will shoot the 3-ball more than take it to the paint. But that's where I got them. I got number 8 in Big C's NBA basketball power rankings, and it's just my opinion, and I'm gonna stick with my opinion. I got the Minnesota Timberwolves. They had 2 19-point leads at halftime last week. The first in Atlanta on Monday turned into a rest advantage loss in which they scored just 27 points on their final 44 possessions. The second was a wire-to-wire victory over the Nuggets in the champions' only defeat of the season. So I got them right now riding high at number 8 in Big C's NBA basketball power rankings. Number 7 in Big C's NBA basketball power rankings. I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Those good boys, about 28 hours left before the end of daylight savings time. It was Dollar Dame in Milwaukee, and with Damian Lillard scoring 6 straight points to beat the Knicks after the Bucks blew a double-digit lead in their first in-season tournament game, and that was their best defensive game of the season. It's also in fair and love and war. When you think about the Bucks' 3 wins, they come by a total of 14 points. Their 2 losses come by 17 points and 19 points. Dollar Dame is now 3 for 4 on clutch 3-pointers, and Jay Crowder has been on the floor at the end of each of their 2 clutch games. I'm telling you, King Giannis, he will be the guy that carries this team back to the Eastern Conference Finals. If they get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, I have the Milwaukee Bucks, number 7 in Big C's NBA power rankings. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I'm still going to ask all of them to start chanting what President Abraham Lincoln said when he said, reparations now, reparations forever. And then Commissioner Adam Silver to lead our NBA to the White House and join hands with the senators and congressmen who want to champion reparations. And for people that say, "Oh, we don't want to talk about reparations. We might lose TV viewers." There's no anecdotal evidence for that. You know, since black men have been allowed to participate in the NBA, they're making more money than they ever have in the history of the game. They've never made more money in the history of the game until they start promoting black men. That's called a clue. And to not stand for reparations is to assume that every white person is evil. Because I can't find black people that don't want reparations based on what our ancestry went through. So if you're afraid to talk about it, are you telling me that Governor Wallace is right when he says segregation now, segregation forever? But even Governor Wallace is wrong. Wasn't he wrong? Governor Wallace was wrong. He was wrong. I got number 6 in Big C's NBA basketball power rankings. I got the Dallas Mavericks. Haven't won a game that wasn't within 5 points in the last 5 minutes, and they did not have much of a chance against the champions on Friday, but they are 5-1, having scored 58 points on 41 clutch possessions. The great Luka Doncic, he leads the league in clutch scoring, 25 points on 8 for 11 shooting. But Grant Williams was a hero on Sunday, going 3 for 3 from 3-point range in the fourth quarter against Charlotte. Dallas is J.R. Ewing territory down in Texas, and they have a good team. I got number 5 in Big C's NBA basketball power rankings is my story, and I'm sticking with it. It's a bird No, it's a plane. No, I'm a hawk. A hawk, a hawk, a hawk, a hawk. That's the best sound effect I can give you. The Atlanta Hawks, they're number 5 in Big C's NBA power rankings, and they should be chatting reparations now, reparations forever. And Luke's from Stone Mountain, Georgia, as he made homage to Dr. King. The Hawks, after an 0-2 start, they've won 4 straight, with 3 of those wins coming against teams Milwaukee, Minnesota, and New Orleans that also have been winning records through week 2. They've scored about 125 points per 100 possessions, with all 8 of their core rotation guys averaging double figures over the winning streak. The Hawks have struggled early, losing the first quarter by at least 5 points in each of the last 3 games, but they're the only team with 3 wins in games that they trail by double digits. If Trae Young, he's been struggling right now, but when that good boy finds his shot, man, the Atlanta Hawks making some noise this year in the Eastern Conference, if that makes sense to you. So I got the number 5. I got number 4 in Big C's NBA power rankings. It's my story, and I'm sticking with it. The Golden State Warriors. Warriors. I want them to adjust their Warriors chant. Reparations now. Reparations forever. If you're in the Golden State with the California Reparations Task Force, and you can't stump for reparations, the Warriors had one of the more impressive wins of the season on Monday when they won in New Orleans by 28 points on the second night of a back-to-back, but they needed late-game heroics from Klay Thompson and his splash brother Steph Curry to eke out wins over the Kings without the great De'Aaron Fox and the Thunder. I'm telling you, the Golden State Warriors, they're in prime spot to make a run at another Western Conference championship. The Warriors scored just 104 points on 102 possessions against the Cavs. The problem was not turnovers or three-point shooting. It was not playing good defense. But I get this team will get better because they can get up and down the court. Everybody has their own thoughts about Golden State, but they've won 4 championships with this core, and they're not too far from maybe getting back there to the promised land, if that makes sense to you. I got number 3 in Big C's NBA power rankings. Now it's my story, and I'm going to stick with it, and people don't have to like it. But I got the Denver Nuggets, defending NBA champions, and the Nuggets got blown out in Minnesota on Wednesday, but they handed the Mavs their first loss of the season 2 nights later. More important than the results of the strained hamstring suffered by the great Jamal Murray in the first half of their win against the Bulls, they have a team that believes it can still win. The loss in Minnesota was the first time in the last 2 seasons since January of 2022 that the Nuggets scored less than 90 points per 100 possessions. The Joker, his field goal percentage is 68%. That's the best mark of his career. You know he's going to do his thing every night. I have him number 3 in Big C's NBA power rankings. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And everybody has their own thoughts about who the best teams are. And I'm going to tell you, it's my story, and I'm going to stick with it. But I'm going to go, oh, man. You know, I'm going to tell you, it's a close 2. But I'm going to go Philadelphia 76ers to eke out, right now, the Denver Nuggets. Oh, Curry, you must be out of your mind. Not really. They're 4-1. The 2 teams that rank in the top 5 of both ends of the floor, the 76ers and the LA Clippers, yet both feel that they want to make a trade. The 76ers have 4 players averaging at least 20 points per game. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are 2 of the 5 players who've averaged at least 25 points and 6 assists per game. They are a good team. Tobias Harris, he's been effective as a field goal shooter, shooting 72%. That's the 4th best mark among 139 players with at least 50 field goal attempts. So they're dominant. And I got them at Big C's, number 2 in Big C's NBA power rankings. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And now I got number 1 in Big C's NBA power rankings. Havlicek inbounds to Russell. Russell throws over to Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge over to Larry Bird. Larry Bird over to Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum for 3. I got the Boston Celtics in Dimdare Hills, Massachusetts. Now, last season, the Celtics started 21-5, with their offense having scored 3.6 more points per 100 possessions than any other team. They're off to a similar start. They've scored 4.8 points more per 100 possessions than any team. The Celtics' first two games last week came with a combined first quarter score of 86-46 and leads of 37 and 53 points. Is that amazing? They are so good right now. For the second straight season, the Celtics look like a regular season machine, and the starting lineup looks stronger than anything they've had in the Brown and Tatum era. The great Johnny Moles would be proud of these Boston Celtics. But I want Boston in Massachusetts to champion what Jaylen Brown said when he signed his mega contract. They said, Jaylen, what do you want to do? He said, I want to bring the Black Wall Street to Boston. And I'm sure he knows how to call the office of Senator Elizabeth Warren, because he's also a champion of reparations now, reparations forever. Imagine when our beautiful, intelligent black men, big, strong, and fast, are willing to just get their lawyers and their spokespersons, their agents, and the owners of their team to champion reparations now, reparations forever. You either pro-reparations or you pro-Southern Confederacy. Which side are you on? Segregation now, segregation forever. Isn't that Governor Wallace what he said? Or which side are you on? Are you on the side of President Abraham Lincoln when he said reparations now, reparations forever? Well, that's my story and I'm sticking with it. I want to give that some praise. That's Big C's NBA Power Rankings. You will never hear it by anybody else in the universe. Big C Sports Desert. I love saying that because it's so true. We are so close at a seminal moment in this country. The election is less than a year away. And there are going to be politicians after politician coming to your neighborhood, buying ads on television and radio. And if you're like the 170 plus members of Congress and in the House of Representatives, in the House and the Senate, and that are championing reparations, they've co-signed H.R. 40 with Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. Ask this question as they're out asking for your vote. Are you pro-reparations? Yes or no? Especially for our beautiful, intelligent black athletes and entertainers, because you have access to media. I know it's okay that you have $1 billion or you got $100 million. But if you're beautiful, intelligent, and black, all lives came from Africa. That's established by Dr. Lee King Gregory. You can Google them. But through the slave trade that we all talk about, there were millions of people lost to the Middle Passage. If you're here in the United States, at some point down the line, you have an ancestor that was either murdered, raped, or sold off by colonizers. And then when Congress created Freedmen's Bank in 1865, so black Americans could put their money in the bank so they feel safe. There were 50 members of Freedmen's Bank that was in several states. All the board of directors are white, selected by Congress, and they stole the money! And they gave it to the Southern Confederates. And they never gave it back, and Congress never made good on the money. Only a few people were able to petition Congress to get their money back. I'm just saying, if not now, then when? I know you want to say, touchdown, home run, three-point play. Oh, man, Willie, he's going all the way. It's amazing that more white people in Congress, in the House and Senate, are more vocal about reparations than our black men, athletes, and entertainers. Well, please stand up for the kickoff. Stand up for the tip-off. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, as I always tell you, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink, because mothers against drunk drivers are mad, and fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber. You can call Lyft. You can walk it off. You can sleep it off. But don't get behind the wheels of a car after you've been drinking. the life you save may be your own. As I always tell you on every Big C Sports Show, you know what time it is. Back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Jubal Beanie Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. After listening to Big C Sports, I just want to chat with reparations now, reparations forever. We just got to get people to wake up and not be afraid. My beautiful mother always says there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. If you know anybody going through that garbage, pick up the phone and call 911 because things change when the police show up. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. It's so important that we do that. Also, Big C Sports is looking to hire over 1,000 real estate and insurance agents and brokers in the next 12 months. Call 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624. And give that some praise. Just need 1,000 real estate agents and insurance brokers to join the Big C team and putting people to work. No other sports is going to do that for you. Well, now we honor President Abraham Lincoln and ask the White House to listen. What did Abraham Lincoln say that we should all be talking about? He said, reparations now, reparations forever. That's it, like our team just won the game. Listen up, White House and Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. He said, reparations now, reparations forever. Now let's honor President Abraham Lincoln as a good team just won the championship. He said, reparations now, reparations forever. I thank you, I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a super fantastic day.